Thomas Frank Newry, also known as Canaan or Vendham St. George, passed away on Sunday 13th June 2021 at the age of 90. He was the father of Harold and Martin in the USA, Bernard, Matthew, Christiana, Joycelyn, Agatha, Merle and Paula Frank Jones, stepfather of Rupert John in the USA, grandfather of Kevin, Orvin, Fabian, Cameron, Hazelan, Christelle, Ruth, Kimberly and Carmel, great-grandfather of many including Serena, Giovanni, Matthew and Kevin, brother of Jean Lambert and Ozzy in the UK, Velda, Vida and Angela in Grenada, Franklin and Mendez in Trinidad, father-in-law of Gary Jones, Wesley de Ravenere and Cosmas Lambert in the United Kingdom, uncle of many including Joanna and Dave Lambert and Paul Williams, many cousins, other relatives and close friends, including Nurse Matthew, the management and staff of Hillsview Home for the Aged, Fitzroy F.A. Alexander, Edrist, Venice, Laurel, Lynetta, Damien, Darren, Cheryl, Althea, Rudolph, Jesslyn, Mario, Skipper, and Veronica Charles, the Frank, Jones, and Cambridge families, and friends and neighbours of Vendham, Boca, Willis, and surrounding areas. The funeral of the late Thomas Frank Newry, also known as Canaan, of Vendham St. George, will be held privately. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Homes. Rennie Paul Andrew Matthew, also known as Tatty, Drizzle and Fathead, of Moran St. John, who resided at Woodford St. John, passed away on Friday 18th June 2021 at the age of 53. He was the husband of Dale Matthew, father of Jarville and Renelle Matthew, grandfather of Kyrie and Roya, brother of Cheryl Raymond, Cherry and Snag, and Ronnie Matthew, adopted brother of Osbert Charles and Nicole Cheryl Charles, nephew of Mary Dabrio, Lynette Alexander, Ether, and Alston Simon, uncle of many including Curlin Raymond, Kadisha and Rashona Matthew, Mauricia and Jamal Snag, Brent Charles, Nathalie, and Aisha Seriaki Charles, father-in-law of Desiree Kajo Matthew, brother-in-law of Moses Raymond, Lincoln Snag, Sheldon Edwin, Rachel Ann Matthew, Donna, Simone, and Salian, grandson-in-law of Anna Cador, nephew-in-law of Agnes, Florette, Jacintha, Auntie Marva, Paul, and Joseph, caretakers Princess Kajo and Carrie Frank, many other relatives and friends in Grenada and abroad including Denise Matthew Noel, Claudine Henry, Eileen Cador, Pamela Duncan, the Honourable Clarice Modeste Cohen, the Matthew and Ned families of St. Mark, St. George, St. Andrew and abroad, Jester Alexander and family, the Simon, Wellington, Cador, Bizensky, Calica, Raymond, Edwin and Snag families, Ignatius Purcell, Lena Charles, and friends and neighbours of Moran, Woodford and surrounding areas. The funeral of the late Rennie Paul Andrew Matthew, also known as Tatty, Drizzle and Fathead, of Moran St. John, who resided at Woodford St. John, will be held privately. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Homes. Augustus Philip, also known as Gus of Paradise St. Andrew, who resided at Montfendu St. Patrick, passed away on Monday 14th June 2021 in London, England, at the age of 85. He was the son of Beryl Philip, brother of Teresa Blair, Eastlyn, Bernice, and Germaine Philip in Trinidad, nephew of Clarice Matthew and Henry John, uncle of Peter, Bernadette, and Edmond Blair. Many cousins, other relatives and close friends including Clarice Matthew and family, Narissa Cheddick and family, Kenroy Thomas and family, and neighbours and friends of Montfendu. The funeral of the late Augustus Philip, also known as Gus of Paradise St. Andrew, who resided at Montfendu St. Patrick, will be announced at a later date. Arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Homes. Ravi Chevy Batiste, also known as Region, of New Hampshire St. George, died on Wednesday 9th June 2021 at the age of 34. He was the son of Ellen Batiste in Grenada and Rudolph Edwards in Canada, father of Destiny Batiste, grandson of Clarice Edwards in Canada, brother of Siobhan and Junior in the USA, Denzel, Danelle and Darwin Batiste in Grenada, nephew of Wesley in the USA, Carol Buckmeyer, Smith, Kellon, Rennie, Eon, Kenny, Sheldon, Ian and Clem in Grenada, and Emma in Trinidad. Grandnephew of 8 including Catherine and Edna in the USA, Molly and Monica in Grenada. Many nieces and nephews. Many other relatives and friends including Cheryl Courtney and family, Nazim Benjamin, Excelia, Norrell, Agatha, David also known as Flebby, the boys by Pilot's Shop, the Batiste family of Beaulieu and New Hampshire, the Edwards, Lewis, Telesford, Gooding, Charles, Roberts and Amelie families of New Hampshire and St. David, and friends and neighbours of Woodlands Avenue, New Hampshire and surrounding areas. Other friends and relatives in the United Kingdom including Marion Nelson and Lois Gibbs. The funeral service and interment of the late Ravi Chevy Batiste, also known as Region, of New Hampshire St. George, will be held privately. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. John Joseph of River Road, St. George, passed away on Wednesday, 16th June 2021, at the age of 77. He was the father of Johnny Charles and Donna Bennett in the USA and Kashawn Newell in Grenada, stepfather of Al Phillip, grandfather of Ralden Bennett and Raphael Charles in the USA and Kishoni Charles in Grenada, uncle of Tahira Allard in the USA, Gordon Sandy, Lucy, Lydia Johnson and Claudia in Grenada, father-in-law of Kristen Charles and Asher Charles. Other relatives and friends including the Honourable Peter David, the Langine family, the Phillip family of River Road, Claudia Francis, Mr. and Mrs. Leonard Thomas, Messiah McQueen, Norma Charles, Constance, Sandra Noel, Victoria Bennett, Donna, the crew by Chucky's Bar, Jack's Shop, Ricky's Bar, Cornerstone Shop and Constance Shop, John's Boutique, Habbert's Paint Shop, Lacroix Brothers, and friends and neighbours of River Road, Beaulieu and surrounding areas. The funeral of the late John Joseph of River Road, St. George, will be held privately. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacroix Brothers Funeral Homes. Joseph Roy Raymond, also known as Chickambu and Royas, of Moran St. John, passed away on Sunday 13th June 2021 at the age of 92. Left to mourn are his children Erman Raymond Alexis, Emma Cato, Lynette Robertson Bryan, Hermelin, Juliet, Kester, Kenneth, Kellon and Carol Raymond. 16 grandchildren including Denise Thomas in Canada, Alistair Raymond and Teresa Alexis Robertson in Grenada. 10 great-grands. Siblings Elaine Dabrio in Canada, Anne Raymond in Trinidad and Alistair Raymond in Grenada. Sons-in-law Dennis Cato in Grenada and Leslie Bryan in Barbados. Sister-in-law Christine Raymond. Many nieces and nephews including Minister Alvin Dabrio in Grenada and Joyce Raymond in the UK. Close friend Danny Boy of Moran. The Lewis family of Florida St. John and Ladigue. The McIntyre family of Grove. The Lewis family of Cherry Hill. The Raymond family of Moran. The pastor and members of the Grove Church of Christ, other relatives in England, Canada and the United States, and friends and neighbours of Moran and surrounding areas. The funeral service and interment of the late Joseph Roy Raymond, also known as Chickambu and Royas of Moran St. John, will be held privately. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home.
Alistair John Scott, also known as Scotty or Dr. Scott, of Sater St. Patrick, who resided in Grandin's housing scheme, St. George, and Brooklyn, New York, the USA, retired police officer of the RGPF and Antigua Police Force and engineer in the USA, passed away on March 25th in the USA at the age of 77. He was the husband of Agnes Scott in New York, father of Alicia, Ali, Rachel, and Agnes Scott, Sherma Scott Patterson in New York, Anne-Marie Scott Grigg in Antigua, and Jason Charles in Grenada, brother of Michael and Fernand Scott, and Cynthia Merriman in Grenada, Owen Scott in England, and Frederick Scott in Canada, uncle of Kenneth Scott in Trinidad and Beverly Scott in Grenada, in-laws including Dora Pilgrim in Canada, Merlin, Sister Merlin Scott, Veronica Mama Scott, Cecil Bruno, Errol Bruno, and Augustine Bruno in Grenada. Many cousins, relatives, and close friends in Grenada, New York, and Canada, including the Scott, Gordon, Merriman, Bruno, Benjamin, Cornwall, and Andrew families, Juliet Lynch, Rennie I. Williams, Yvonne Prosper, Anthony Tony Robinson, Preston Thomas, Jenny Duncan, Fitzroy Winter, Avis Mitchell, Deborah Thomas, Rachel Labari, Sherman Davis, Denise Bruno, Joycelyn Julian, Gloria Benjamin, Jacinta Carol Cummins, Anne-Marie Weeks, Wilfred Pilgrim, Eureka and Edlin, Miss Jessie, Phyllis, Catherine Nangain, friends and neighbors in Grenada and abroad. A memorial service for the late Alistair John Scott, also known as Scotty, or Dr. Scott of Sater St. Patrick, who resided in Grand Anne's Housing Scheme, St. George and Brooklyn, New York, will be held privately. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacroix Brothers Funeral Home. Phyllis Veronica McKee, also known as Phyllis Paul of Pomrose, St. David, passed away on Saturday, 12th June at the age of 91. She was the mother of Hilary, Sandra, Augustine, and Fitzroy in Grenada, Laurel, Julia, Martin, and Matthew in the USA. Great-grandmother of 25, including Alia, Sophia, Cassidy, Sheldona, and Athena. Great-great-grandmother of 2, sister of Catherine Paul, also known as Met in the USA, and Ruby Samuel in Grenada. Aunt and grand-aunt of many in Grenada, Trinidad, and the USA, including teacher Nikki, Kennetha, Paul, Jessie, Johnny, Daphne, Clarice, and Charles. Mother-in-law of Alistair Bowen, Sharon Paul, and Roylon Henry in the USA. Many nieces and nephews are the relatives and friends, including teacher Dolores, Nelson Hazard, teacher Jude, Stephen Allen, Samuel Joseph, Nora Klein and family, the Mitchell family of Malmount, the Charles and Thomas families in Latant and Rocane, the Mackey family and Lane family of Malty, the Augustus and Hazard families of Pomrose, Samuel family of Wester Hall, teachers of the Gift of Love Home in Malmount, priests and parishioners of Pomrose ROC Church, friends and the neighbors of Pomrose, Latant, and the surrounding areas. The funeral of the late Phyllis Veronica McKee, also known as Phyllis Paul of Pomrose St. David, will be held privately. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacroix Brothers Funeral Home.
Theodora Cox, also known as Jacinth of Limlek Harriaku, passed away on Monday, 14th June 2021, at the age of 88. She was the mother of Norman Cox, sister of Eileen Langdon and Cynthia Henrietta Langdon, also known as Henny, several nieces and nephews, several grandnieces and grandnephews, stepmother of Bernard and Rodney Cox, many other relatives and friends including the Cox, Bascom, Langdon and Quashie families, members of the Mount Paran Spiritual Baptist Church, Mother Nathlin, Mother Wilma, Bishop Albert and Bishop Wendell, Bishop Cox and members, Kingsley, Sherman, Nerissa, Ashford, Nodge, close friend Shirley, the matron and staff of the Princess Royal Hospital, Mrs. Smith and staff of the St. Martin's Home for the Aged, and friends and neighbors of Limlek Harriaku. The funeral of the late Theodora Cox, also known as Jacinth of Limlek Harriaku, will be held privately. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacroix Brothers Funeral Homes. Nerika Jack, née Horsford, of Woburn, St. George, died on Monday, 28th June 2021, at the age of 36. The funeral arrangements for the late Nerika Jack, née Horsford, of Woburn, St. George, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. Joseph Gabriel Charles, also known as Gabriel Fleming, and Erasto Barco, of Mount Rodney St. Patrick, who resided at Paradise St. Andrew, passed away on Friday, 2nd July 2021, at the age of 63. The funeral arrangements for the late Joseph Gabriel Charles, also known as Gabriel Fleming, and Erasto Barco, of Mount Rodney St. Patrick, who resided at Paradise St. Andrew, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Homes. Jacqueline Worm of the Bocas St. George died on June 30th, 2021, at the age of 59. The funeral arrangements for the late Jacqueline Worm of the Bocas St. George will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. Anthony Andrew Julian, also known as Officer, Tweety and Brother Julian of Pedmotar St. David, Police Constable 898, attached to the Central Police Station, passed away on Tuesday 29th June 2021 at the age of 57. The funeral arrangements for the late Anthony Andrew Julian, also known as Officer, Tweety and Brother Julian of Pedmotar St. David, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. Carmen Sam of Springs St. George died on June 27, 2021, at the age of 100. The funeral arrangements for the late Carmen Sam of Springs St. George will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. Catherine Simeon of Old Westerhall St. David passed away on Sunday 27th June 2021 at the age of 72. The funeral arrangements for the late Catherine Simeon of Old Westerhall St. David will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Homes. Francis Terry Clarkson of Mongeloo St. George died on Sunday, June 20th, 2021, at the age of 86. The funeral arrangements for the late Francis Terry Clarkson of Mongeloo will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. Rachel Bartholomew, also known as Teacher Rachel or Rary, of Melrose, Lamode St. George, died on Friday 25th June 2021 at the age of 50. The funeral arrangements for the late Rachel Bartholomew, also known as Teacher Rachel or Rary, of Melrose, Lamode St. George, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. Lennox Paul Cox, also known as Nako and Daddy Pro of Belvedere Carriacou, passed away on Monday 21st June 2021 at the age of 66. The funeral arrangements for the late Lennox Paul Cox, also known as Nako and Daddy Pro, of Belvedere Carriacou, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Homes.
John Telesford, also known as Turner, of Chamfleur, Vincent St. David, passed away on Monday, 21st June, at the age of 85. The funeral arrangements of the late John Telesford, also known as Turner, of Chamfleur, Vincent St. David, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements have been entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. Alberta Magdalene Joseph, also known as Butter, of Riversally, who resided at Lower Latas St. Patrick, passed away on Saturday 19th June at the age of 96. The funeral arrangements of the late Alberta Magdalene Joseph of Lower Latas St. Patrick will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Home.
Clifford Marshall of Cloget, who resided at Seamoon St. Andrew, died on Wednesday 23rd June 2021 at the age of 56. The funeral arrangements for the late Clifford Marshall of Cloget, who resided at Seamoon St. Andrew, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. Wesley Beggs of Laborie St. Paul's, former Commissioner of Her Majesty's Prisons and Coordinator of the Probation Unit at the Ministry of Social Development, Housing and Community Empowerment, passed away on Friday 11th June 2021 at the age of 57. The funeral arrangements for the late Wesley Beggs of Labrie St. Paul, St. George will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Homes. Kenrick Lewis, also known as Bowley, Crow and Paulo of Tivoli St. Andrew, who resided at Grand Anse Valley, St. George, passed away on Sunday, June 20th, 2021 at the age of 69. The funeral arrangements for the late Kenrick Lewis, also known as Bowley, Crow and Paulo of Tivoli St. Andrew, who resided at Grand Anse Valley, St. George, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Homes. Louisa Johnson, née Noel of Mongelou, St. George, a resident of the Grand Anse Home for the Aged, died on Tuesday, 15th June 2021 at the age of 93. The funeral arrangements for the late Louisa Johnson, née Noel of Mongelou, St. George, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. Lindy Skinner of Hopevale, St. George, who resided at John Anglais, St. George, passed away on Monday, 7th June 2021 at the age of 38. The funeral arrangements for the late Lindy Skinner of Hopevale, who resided at John Anglais, St. George, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. Benedict Dominic Philip, also known as Cooleybo, of Tivoli St. Andrew, passed away on Saturday, 5th June 2021 at the age of 53. The funeral arrangements for the late Benedict Dominic Philip, also known as Cooleybo, of Tivoli St. Andrew, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Homes. Loxley Murray, also known as Cooley, of Rucane, who resided at Malmount St. David, passed away on Saturday, 5th June 2021 at the age of 43. The funeral arrangements for the late Loxley Murray, also known as Cooley, of Rucane, who resided at Malmount St. David, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home.
The management and staff of MTV extend deepest condolences to those of you whose loved ones have passed on. Thanks for watching.
Death and dying are the inevitable events and realities of life. The passing of a friend or loved one often brings with it the feelings of sadness, grief, and pain. There is always the period of sorrow and mourning for those who experience such loss. Brothers and sisters, particularly in this time and season of how you feel and what you may be thinking as a result of the passing of your loved one, there is a source and means of comfort that you can tap into. That source and means of comfort is God and His Word that speaks specifically and directly to our situation. Hear the word to you today. He says, "Blessed are they that mourn, for they shall be comforted." What I believe he is saying through this verse to you and everyone that is now experiencing some measure of grief or sorrow, and what I also believe is implied in that which he says, are the following. Mourning is an understandable, normal, and real expression of your emotions. Mourning presents the opportunity for us to experience the comfort of family, friends, and loved ones. Mourning identifies us with each other in our humanity and morality. Mourning will not last forever. It is for a particular season and reason. Mourning connects us with the ultimate source and means of comfort that is always available to us, God, our Heavenly Father, through Jesus Christ. And so today, we look to the Lord in prayer, Him who is able to comfort us with the comfort that we need in times like these. God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, God of comfort, we pray even now for those who mourn and are in need of your comfort. May your love embrace them. May your grace afford them the strength for each day and hope for tomorrow. May you inspire and motivate them to stand upon the promises of your word. And may your Spirit lead and direct them to the ultimate source and means of comfort, which can be found in you and the promises of your word. This prayer we offer through Jesus Christ our Lord.